Select your model and press Ctrl+A. Then choose Location, Rotation, Scale, or simply All Transforms if you want to apply everything. This sets the current position, rotation, and scale as the new default state, so animations, physics, and modifiers behave correctly. First, select the object you want to convert. This can be text, a curve, or any non-mesh object. Now, right-click and choose Convert to Mesh. That's it. Your object is now a real mesh, ready for modeling, editing, and sculpting. I start by adding a UV sphere and a plane. I switch to the plane and go into edit mode, then add detail by using subdivide. Next, I right-click and apply poke faces. After that, I clean up the mesh by using Triz to quads. I exit edit mode and add a wireframe modifier to the plane to create the net structure. I add collision to the UV sphere, and I add cloth simulation to the plane. Finally, I play the animation and watch the net interact naturally with the sphere. First, I add a text object and change the font to Comic Sans. Then I right-click and convert it to mesh. In edit mode, I extrude the letters to give them some thickness. Next, I add a remesh modifier to clean up the geometry. After that, I switch to sculpt mode, choose the cloth filter, and set the filter type to inflate. And just like that, we get a smooth, inflated text effect in Blender. First, I fixed the 3D cursor to place everything accurately. Then, I enabled the Extra Mesh Objects add-on and added a single vert to the scene. In edit mode, I shaped the base outline and used the spin tool to generate the vase. After that, I applied Shade Smooth, added a subsurface modifier for clean curvature, and finished it with a Solidify modifier to give the vase real thickness. Let's create line art in Blender. First, I added a stroke to the scene. Then I applied the line art modifier. After that, I added a camera. And here's the key point. Line art only works from the camera's point of view. That's it. Now your scene displays clean and stylized line outlines. Let me show you how to add a teapot in Blender with just a few clicks. First, I enable the Extra Mesh Objects add-on. Then I open the Mesh panel and simply select Teapot. And just like that, Blender generates a perfect teapot mesh for you. Want to create bolts in Blender instantly? Let me show you the easiest way. First, enable the Bolt Factory add-on in Blender. Now press Shift+A and select Mesh, then Bolt to instantly create a fully customizable bolt. In the Settings panel, you will see all the options you need. You can adjust the bolt size, thread type, head style, and even generate a matching nut automatically. Bolt Factory is great for technical modeling because it gives you clean geometry and real-world accuracy. Modify the parameters until your bolt looks exactly the way you want, and you are done. Want to create realistic roof tiles in Blender in seconds? Watch this! First, enable the Archimesh add-on in Blender. Then press Shift plus a Mesh Archimesh Roof. Now check the panel on the bottom left. Here you can adjust all the roof settings like tile shape, thickness, and pattern. With just a few tweaks, you've got a clean, fully customizable roof tile model. Want a clean glow effect in Blender? Here's the fastest way to do it. Let's get started. First, I set the compositor to Always so it updates in real time. Then I add an emission shader to my model and increase the strength. Next, I switch to the Compositing tab, enable Use Nodes, and add a Glare node. Using fog glow or streaks instantly gives you a smooth, realistic glow effect. Your camera shots look static? Let me show you two Blender tricks that instantly add cinematic motion. First, let's start with Track 2. Select your camera, then add a Track 2 constraint. Now choose an object as the target. No matter where the camera moves, it will always look at the object. Perfect for product shots, characters, or cinematic focus. Now let's take it further with Follow Path. Create a curve, then select your camera. Add the follow path constraint and choose the curve. Animate the offset factor, and your camera smoothly moves along the path. Combine follow path plus track 2, and you get professional camera motion in seconds. Quick Smoke is the fastest way to start a smoke simulation in Blender. With a single click, Blender creates both the smoke source and the simulation domain. This gives you a clean base setup, but the real control comes from the settings you tweak next. Initial velocity controls the direction and speed of the smoke at the moment it's emitted. When it's disabled, smoke rises naturally based only on physics and buoyancy. When it's enabled, you can force the smoke to move in a specific direction right from the start. This is what allows smoke to shoot sideways, forward, or follow a more stylized motion instead of just going straight up. Resolution divisions determines how detailed the smoke simulation is. With low resolution, smoke looks soft, blocky, and lacks fine detail. As the resolution increases, the smoke becomes sharper, more complex, and more realistic. Higher resolution means better quality, but also longer bake times and higher memory usage. Adaptive Domain dynamically resizes the simulation domain based on where the smoke actually exists. When it's turned off, the domain stays fixed, even if most of it is empty space. When it's turned on, the domain shrinks and expands to follow the smoke. This improves performance and keeps the simulation focused only on the areas that matter. Noise adds extra detail to the smoke without increasing the base simulation resolution. Without noise, smoke can look smooth and artificial. With noise enabled, the smoke gains small-scale turbulence and natural variation. This is one of the easiest ways to make smoke look more realistic without heavy performance costs. These settings are what transform basic smoke into something cinematic. And this is just the beginning of Blender simulations. Want a transparent background in Blender? Go to Render Properties. Open the Film panel. Enable Transparent. That's it. Your background is now transparent. Render as PNG and make sure RGBA is selected. Now you can place your render on any background. This is how you get tone shading in Blender. First, I add a sunlight and rotate it to get strong shadows. Then, in the shader editor, I use Diffuse BSDF, Shader to RGB, and a color ramp to create sharp toon shading. After that, I add strokes and apply the line art modifier. Finally, I enable line art on the model to get clean cartoon outlines. And that's it. A simple toon shader in Blender. Want to make your 3D model look like it's drawn on paper? Here's how to do it with Freestyle in Blender. First, go to the World panel and set the world color to white for a clean paper look. Then open Render Settings and enable Freestyle. After that, go to the View Layer tab, open Freestyle Strokes, and activate Sketchy. Now adjust the lines. Set Freestyle Alpha to 0.97 to make the strokes look more natural. Open Freestyle Geometry and set sampling to 2 for smoother sketch lines. Next, click Add Modifier and add Tip Remover and Bezier Curve to refine the stroke endings and flow. You can also change the freestyle color to customize the line color however you want. Finally, hit Render and enjoy your hand-drawn sketch effect.